It is quite beautiful up here. Well, good morning, everyone. I would first like to start off by thanking my family. Without your support, I don't know what I would be or where I would be today. I would like to thank you all for allowing me to speak to you today on this joyous occasion. I want to thank you for showing your support to your loved ones who are going to grace this stage today. I want to thank my fellow graduates for pushing through what some would call an unbelievable process. And if you would allow me, I would like to tell you about my journey through that process and how I met some incredible people. Before I came to Europe, I thought that I was broken. I thought that I couldn't do it, whatever it was. I thought that my current situation is my situation and that I'm not good enough to get out of it anyway. That there was no point and that no one would remember my name in the first place. The only thing that made me even go so far into high school was that maybe if I got good grades in advanced classes, I could make enough money to help my family be better, to help my brothers who are always there for me through the same struggle. Until I realized that we couldn't even afford graduation. So I thought, I'm not good enough anyway. I developed a deep, self-loathing personality. I projected it on people, not only hating myself, but everyone around me who was not part of my family. I would walk around depressed, furious, and ultimately had given up on life without a definitive reason why and did not care to explain. I was an emotional yet blank, hot but cold, and the anger was the only real feeling that made me feel human and not broken. However, I knew that I was good at working, so I worked until school was over for me, and then I worked some more, then I got my GED, and then worked some more, going from job to job until I was finally asked to work with my cousin. I worked there thankfully, thank you so much, but I realized that it was not enough, that I wanted more, and that in all honesty, I need more, and that my family needs more, which brings me to Europe. During this time, I had heard about Europe at least twice, each time thinking that it's not really worth it. Me taking away from a year of working to train? What about my bills? What if someone I love needs something? It's that same thought, however, that brought me to Europe. I don't know what made me take that step to change that thought from a negative to a positive, but I am so thankful that it did. I did research and found out that it was a legitimate tech program and that it will pay you for your experience. Now, the first thought in my head was, yeah, right, next. The second thought was that you like computers, so why not? If you fail, so what? I had not thought like that in a while, to try something not knowing the outcome. So I applied and went through the interview and the information sessions and the gear ups and thought, well, maybe this won't be half bad. Maybe I have a shot here, you know? Once I found out I was accepted, I got excited. Like when you get your first paycheck because you know you earned that spot. And I knew I earned that. I remember the first day of class and remember seeing people dressed up like they are today in professional attire. And I had honestly never seen so many people of color in that type of attire unless it was at a funeral. That, right there, was what let me know that this was something to be taken seriously, that it was real, and that over time it was something that I could do. On top of this realization, the confidence in me from my family, I was told to run for leadership positions in my community by my program manager, Mr. Byron Jones. Now, I have never been a follower. I have always done what I wanted to do. But I was no leader. I didn't like people enough to lead them. For some reason, though, that made me want to do it, and I did. I don't know if it was the vibe of the moment or someone close to my age that didn't really know me, speaking favorably of me, but it was that one moment that started my transformation, and I thank him for that dearly. Now, you see, Europe was filled with moments like that. with staff constantly uplifting you, with a community fueling each other to do their best and to test their limits. For instance, when I struggled with my faith, I met Lloyd Jones, who preached a good word. When I wondered how I could share my negative outlook on life, I met the always positive Michael Cordero. And when I didn't think I would be able to balance things, I was able to speak to my advisor, Mr. Cornell, and many others. I can speak on how difficult the classes were and how the struggle of late night studying affected sleep. I could even touch on the familiar feeling of not having financial stability and honestly wondering how I get to class the next morning. But as my colleagues have so eloquently emphasized earlier, those moments are outshined by the personal growth that each and every person here today had to go through and the bonds that were ultimately formed. See, Europe's founder, Mr. Gerald Shertavian, says that Europe is like a runway. I say that I have a different view. A runway is a path set, defined. You know where you are going, and you don't need anyone to tell you. You really don't need to worry. I say Europe is more of a cocoon. They can only be entered once you have put in the work to get there. And once you enter, you have to continue that passion to grow and to change. And once you finish, you are equipped with wings and the ability to go wherever you choose, as your path is no longer limited to the ground as when you were a caterpillar. And boy, do we have that passion in spades. As we take that passion to a world that has no idea of what is about to hit it, I want everyone to remember where they were a year ago. Remember where you were before. Remember how you might have felt broken or worn out. Now look at the young professionals you have become. Look what you have accomplished that so many might have thought impossible. Look at the friends that grew with you. Look at what you have left behind for the next class to prosper from. Look how you have blossomed into something that is undeniably beautiful. I made a prayer and a promise to myself when I started Year Up that I would do something that would make my grandmother proud when she looks down on me, and that I would be something that my niece and my nephew could look up to. Through Year Up's mission and a ton of hard work, I think I can say I kept that promise. And as of July 16th, I am gainfully employed with the company I interned with, 360i. As an associate media manager. With that, I thank you for growing with me, Class 14. It's been an unbelievable journey. I am truly happy that I met each and every one of you. I love you all. And if you will allow me, I would like to close with a spoken word. What is a king without a kingdom? Just a man not differentiated from peons. The same as a child gifted with nowhere to flourish or athlete with no gym. It is the lack of opportunity that divides advantages, separated domestic from savages. That gives another man a reason to say that we cannot handle it, understand a bit, that hoods and crosses turn as suits and ties and try to make us realize that we cannot follow suit, that we should cut our losses and relinquish the thoughts of bosses. They will ask, well, what have we done? As if we don't echo accomplishments in our speech. As our walk does not designate that we are different. They see trouble because that is what they are taught to understand. Not knowing that another negative adds demolition instead of an architect into the life of another man. Worse off because we come from struggle? I think not. Because the finest gems are found beneath debris and rubble. Watch us take that rubble to build a foundation that is stronger than no other. What have we done? Been a part of a puzzle of opposition. Choosing a dark path because we could not see light in the distance, not knowing that we are that light and we cannot see ourselves. Now, we take not what was given, because nothing was given at all. We earned the right to fly with no sponsorship, so watch us brood with humble confidence as you acknowledge our accomplishments. This is what we have done. And that's why we are the chosen. Thank you.